My name is Larry Rodriguez, and I've been writing statements on behalf of the Chevron heiress for 6 years and 8 months. She's being sexually molested and robbed by cops from Houston, Texas. Presently, I'm being stalked by cops from Houston, Texas. And the government is well aware of what these cops are doing, and they're letting them do this. Let me make a note. The cops from Houston, Texas have people following me around, invisible, all day long, men and women. These men and these women materialize somewhere along the path of my commute from the time that I leave my home till the time that I come back. And they materialize and they come around me. They want to make it appear like I'm associated with them in a material form. So like that, they can say I'm associated with them. And then in a invisible form. Then they have these people, their accomplice, following me and lying to women, telling women that I said to go with them. And they sexually molest them and rob them and impose the repertoire of influence upon them. Speculate I. These cops have people continuously walking up behind me, homosexuals, old homosexuals. They want to make it appear like I'm associated with homosexuals. And I'm not gay, nor am I bisexual. The cops from Houston, Texas are grooming me to become violent against one of these individuals that are following me around everywhere I go. I asked the government to get these cops away from me. And the government, I have proof of it too. I have audio statements, I have video statements, I have written statements. I have statements in many places in relation to these circumstances for many, many, many years. And this has been going on for 6 years and 8 months. And the government is not doing anything about it. I don't understand why the government is not doing anything about these cops stalking me. What is the reason these cops are following me for 6 years? I go to churches to eat food at the end of the month when my government supplements deteriorates completely. Why are these cops following me, imposing homosexual gender on me by having homosexual accomplice come around me all the time? Rumor has it that the cops from Houston, Texas are going to try to attempt to alter my sexual gender preference and my psychology in relation to who I am. I am not bisexual. I'm not bisexual. I'm not gay. I don't have sex with men. I don't have a homosexual demeanor or character, and I don't carry myself as so. Okay? These cops are really arrogant. Who said they can do whatever it is they want? They're doing. Why is the government not stopping these cops? Is the government afraid of these cops? Is the government misled by these cops because these cops have information which they were able to use to convince the government of anything they wanted the government to believe, to get the government to let them continue to oppress me? If you scrutinize all their statements to different departments, you'll see that all these statements are different. They're all different. But they all are crafted to mislead the government, to get the government to do something for them. But if you scrutinize these statements, the reasons they're using to get the government to behave as they want them to behave, have different dialogue and different allegations, but they're all trying to promote the same thing. In other words, cops from Houston, Texas tell each department whatever they need to tell them, whatever lie they got to tell them to get that government department to cooperate with them. You understand? And this is what the government, and this is what the cops from Houston, Texas must have done with the principal government that has jurisdiction over my allegations. My allegations count because there's cops from Houston, Texas breaking the law, and they have me in the circumference of their criminal spree, attempting to implicate me in their crimes with accomplices that are vagabonds, addicts, homeless people, alcoholics, and the likes, whom the cops from Houston, Texas have coming into my home, following me around everywhere I go, sleeping in my home, walking back and forth the circumference of my living quarters, back and forth, day after day after day after day, and nothing is done about it. These cops are still following me, and the government is still doing nothing about it. Now, you might want to play psychological games with me and say, invisible people? What are you talking about? I'm talking about the invisible people that are the cops' accomplices following me around, that the cops are saying that are working for me, and I don't even know them. And those are the invisible people I'm talking about. So we can kick that to the curb when I bring the phrase of invisible people, and they try to say that, is he insane? Because it exists. I thought maybe that the cops from Houston, Texas was creating an action to cause me to react with an action as, of course people could get invisible, and everybody was going to say, are you insane? Are you okay? To try to get me to demonstrate how to get invisible. But I don't get invisible. I don't time travel. I don't do none of that. So I couldn't possibly show you how to demonstrate to you how to get invisible. I can tell you how to do it. And you can do it. And you already know how to do it because I speculate you already know how to do it because the majority of the judiciary departments all know how to do it. Don't they? I'm not committing crime. If you don't want to get these cops from Houston, Texas away from me, I'm asking the court to exonerate me from any legal annexes that I may have with the government so I can run and hide from cops from Houston, Texas that are stalking me with a fatal attraction demanding that I accept their homosexual preference. And in doing that, they're violating my rights to freedom of religion. My religion and every other religion in the world makes it clear that man shall not lie down with man as he does with women. I don't care how many nasty, disgusting homosexuals submit themselves to sneak up behind me and walk behind me to make it appear that I'm associated with them. Wherever it was that they're trying to make it appear that I'm associated with nasty, disgusting, sexual predator homosexuals, they're nasty and disgusting because they're behaving in a sexual predator way. They're stalking me. Now, there's video cameras everywhere. My phone is with these individuals that are stalking me, and you'll see their GPS signal lingering in places, waiting for me to take that path. And then as soon as I pass, they start to follow me. This is basically what happens everywhere. When one of their homosexual accomplices come around me, they're always sort of like behind the corner waiting till I arrive. And then as soon as they see me, they run behind me to walk behind me to get real close, to make it appear that they're really close to me. So somewhere up front, a block away, half a block away, up in the building somewhere, somebody could take a picture and say that I'm associated with them, that I'm with them, that I know them. And I don't know them, and I'm not with them. And the cops from Houston, Texas is only being able to do this because the government is well aware that they're sexually harassing me and they attempted to entrap me and they impeached themselves. And the government is still letting them pursue me, stalk me, so that these individuals could try to exonerate all the crimes they committed around me, which were already verified with their actions. Now, the government is trying to get these cops to impose a crime on me so that they can say that if I committed that crime, I committed all the other crimes and all my allegations against them is frivolous. But how can my allegations be frivolous when their accomplice were walking by me with our GPS signals were together only in that place and no other place, and the cameras that were above, surveillance cameras, didn't see anything that their accomplice alleged. So how could them implicating me in a crime exonerate them from that crime? They're already implicated in that crime. That's already a crime. I want them prosecuted. You're not prosecuting them. They should be already prosecuted for impeachment and attempted entrapment and sexual harassment. The government is not doing nothing. They're sweeping it under the rug. They're trying to make it disappear. The cops from Houston, Texas, have the cops around the neighborhood committing crimes, or have the cops around the neighborhood seeming to be committing crimes. Or are committing crimes. But the fact of that is something different. The facts of this is that I'm not committing crime. Why are homosexual cops stalking me? And why is the government letting them stalk me? And why is the government not doing anything about it? These cops is grooming me. They're grooming me to explode because they keep violating me. They keep having accomplices come around me everywhere I go to violate me. Oh, let me give you a simple example of something equivalent. Okay, the kids are outside and they're running to the neighbors, ringing the doorbell, then they're running high. The neighbor comes to the door, opens the door, nobody's there. Then the kids run back to the door when the neighbor closes the door and ring the bell again. Now, after they do this a few times, the neighbor is extremely angry. And he comes out and shouts and swears because the same harassing method was being used time and time and time and time again, to the point that got him angry enough to come out and walk around and swear with his hands clenched in anger. You understand? It's the same thing the cops from Houston, Texas is doing to me. I keep getting people to come around me, around me, around me, around me, around me, everywhere that I go in the city of New York, everywhere that I was in New Orleans, everywhere that I was in Houston, Texas, everywhere that I was in Mexico. All right? These cops is stalking me for some homosexual reasons. And I want these cops as far away from me as you can put them legally away from me, because they have a fatal attraction and they're trying to impose a abnormality on me, which is in violation to my religious rights and every other religious right in the whole world. Because every religion in this earth stipulates that man shall not have sex with another man. They may say it a different way, but they mean the same thing. Man shall not lie with man as he does with women. I'm being stalked by cops that have a fatal attraction. My name is Larry Rodriguez, and I'm not bothering nobody. I'm not committing a crime.